Have you ever wondered why some women captivate men to the point of unforgettable obsession, while others, despite their best efforts, seem to fade into invisibility? It's not because they lack allure. There exists a profound feminine energy that most never tap into, and it is this energy that acts as an intoxicating elixir at the level of the unconscious. According to Carl Jung, every true connection between two people stems not from words or actions, but from a collision of souls that awakens ancient, unconscious forces within them. When a woman unwittingly embodies this archetype, she becomes the very thing a man has always yearned to find, though he cannot name it. In simple terms, men are not addicted to you. They are addicted to the feeling you evoke. A woman who is both familiar and mysterious, tender yet indifferent, present yet unattainable. She is a spiritual storm from which a man cannot escape. In this video, I will reveal the 7 secret layers of feminine energy capable of awakening primal obsession in a man's mind, not through appearances, but through the depths of your being. Some of these layers may shock you as you've lived with them without ever realizing it. Stay until the end, for the final secret will not only make him obsessed, but may also lead you to see yourself in an entirely new light. Number 1. The anima and the awakening of primal emotions. Within every man's soul resides an image of a woman he cannot put into words. It does not come from the women he meets in real life, but from within him, from the unconscious, from myths, from ancestral experiences passed down through thousands of generations. Carl Jung called this the anima, the inner feminine archetype dwelling in a man's heart and mind, an inseparable part of his being. The anima is not the idealized woman shaped by societal standards. It is not necessarily like his mother, an ex-lover, or any specific archetype. The anima is a composite of emotions, images, and intuitions that a man craves but does not possess. Softness, emotional depth, sacredness, and mystery. When a woman enters his life and inadvertently activates these emotional layers, without reason, he feels drawn to her like a primal force he cannot comprehend. This is the awakening of a man's deepest essence, where reason holds no sway, where logic cannot intervene. And because it is beyond his control, it becomes an obsession. Jung said that when the anima is activated, a man no longer sees a woman as a mere individual. She becomes a symbol. And because of this, he does not simply love her, he craves her, as if searching for himself. The anima often manifests through women with emotional depth, fluidity of spirit, and an elusive quality. They are not always gentle or always fierce. They shift like water, at times still, appearing calm, but with the slightest breeze, the entire surface ripples and reflects an unexpected light. She can be tender in one moment, profound in the next, then suddenly sharp and bold without warning. Unpredictable, not because she hides herself, but because she lives authentically in every layer of her emotions. Like water, she can become mist, ice, or rain. She is every version of herself, and none of them are false. She does not fear showing vulnerability. people yet rarely recognize truth. Men are not addicted to you as a person. They are addicted to the feelings you stir within them. And those feelings do not come from being cute or sensual, nor from always being kind, accommodating, or well-behaved. They arise from emotional movement, something that leaves him disoriented, alive, intrigued, and unable to look away. This is emotional contrast, a powerful psychological phenomenon rarely taught anywhere. It is not a tactic, it is instinct. It is how you create a crescendo and then fall silent. It is how you make him laugh and then leave a pause that makes him want to know you more. It is how you shift from bright to introspective, from tender to candid, from warm to proud, without contradiction. Carl Jung once said, "The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. But for that reaction to occur, there must be an emotional charge. Emotional contrast is that charge. Like touching a live wire, it jolts you. A woman who shows only one emotional tone, always gentle, always positive, always cute, will soon become forgettable. But a woman who dares to live fully in all her emotional shades makes a man want to explore her because he never feels he has fully understood her." Psychological research shows that contrasting and unexpected emotions are potent triggers for dopamine release, the neurotransmitter responsible for excitement, desire, and attachment. The moments of, "she's not what I expected," are when he is most drawn in. This is the same mechanism behind why people become addicted to games, movies, or relationships. Not because they are always pleasant, but because they are never the same and always offer a challenge to explore. Imagine this. A woman can playfully tease, making everyone laugh. But when a profound topic arises, her eyes shift, her voice slows, and she shares something deeply sincere. The man listening feels something within him move. He is surprised and curious because she holds so much that others cannot predict. That is when his anima stirs, as she evokes something beyond his control. What is the psychological response? Empathy, attention, and sometimes a slight disorientation. The man is no longer merely attracted physically. He is drawn into your emotional journey. A woman who allows herself to live so authentically in a world where everyone wears masks becomes a dangerous variable. He cannot program her, cannot predict her, and thus cannot control his own emotions around her. Emotional psychology also shows that people remember experiences with high emotional amplitude far more than monotonous ones. If you are only pleasant, he will find you agreeable. But if you make him laugh, move him, intrigue him, and leave him slightly anxious when you're out of touch, you become an emotional anchor in his mind, a place where safe, predictable women cannot compete. A man, no matter how strong, rational, or controlled, will begin to feel pulled into an emotional state he thought himself immune to. However, emotional contrast is not chaos or volatility. It is the ordered flow of opposing emotional layers. Jung saw humans as a whole of opposites, light and dark, conscious and unconscious, masculine and feminine. When a woman allows herself to express all her opposing facets, the man interacting with her is drawn into a process of integrating his being. He is not just attracted to her, he is awakened by the primal emotions she stirs within him. In a modern world where everything is fast and predictable, a woman who brings emotions like a novel with surprising turns on every page keeps a man reading, afraid to miss something precious if he stops. The remarkable thing is, emotional contrast is not something you learn from dating tips. It is the natural result of a woman connecting deeply with her inner world, unafraid to traverse every state, including the darker corners, and embracing them as a beautiful part of herself. When she understands she can be both a cool stream and a blazing fire, a storm and a sunrise, she no longer merely attracts, she awakens. Secret number 2, emotional self-mastery. Emotional contrast draws men in, but what makes a man unable to forget you? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Perhaps we'll all gain a fresh perspective. Here, we delve into the second secret, the energy of self-mastery. A woman may captivate through her emotional shifts, but she truly inspires lasting longing when she is complete in herself, without needing a man to become her fullest version. Carl Jung once wrote, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." A truly captivating woman does not need a man to feel whole, does not need love to prove her worth, does not need to be chosen to know she is deserving. She is already a complete being before anyone enters her life, and will remain so after they leave. She does not stand waiting for rescue. She loves and nurtures herself every day. In modern psychology, the concept of emotional self-regulation, the ability to manage one's emotional state without relying on external validation, is a form relationship, but is not consumed by it. She can love deeply, but if the other turns away, she does not crumble. She hurts, but does not break. She grieves, but stands firm. Her center has never been external. Behavioral psychology shows that people value what is scarce and hard to attain. Emotional self-mastery is the rarest, most precious scarcity in matters of the heart. A woman who waits eagerly for texts, sacrifices her time, or drops everything to meet a man the moment he asks, "Are you free?" will not be valued as much as the woman who responds, "I'm busy, but we can arrange to meet this weekend." That response is not cold. And men, though they may not say it, feel the difference in every fiber of their being. Self-mastery is not just attractive, it is protective. It shields you from half-hearted relationships, from those who are unworthy, and from giving too much too soon. A woman who can say no, who can walk away, who can reject unworthy love creates a lasting, profound allure. She attracts mature, serious men who recognize her worth and yearn to keep her. But when a woman is already whole, standing firm in her world, what makes a man not only respect her, but want to explore her deeper, longer? What sustains attraction even when the novelty fades? Could it be the very thing the mind cannot analyze, yet the heart endlessly seeks? Mystery. And true mystery lies not in what you say, but in the space you leave. Secret number 3, mystery and the allure of space. Here, we are not talking about mystery as acting aloof to spark curiosity or delaying text replies to seem valuable. Such tactics only scratch the surface, enticing for a few weeks before fading. What truly captivates a man is the space left unfilled by words, unexplained by reason, and irresistible to logic. Carl Jung called this the phenomenon of projection, psychological projection. When a man does not fully understand you, cannot decode you or see all of you, he is not confined by reality. He fills your image with his imagination. Thus, you become not just you, but a symbol, an enigma, a reflection of a part of his soul he cannot yet name. This explains why many men admit, "I don't know why I keep thinking about her." There's nothing particularly striking in appearance, nothing explosive in conversation, but the ambiguity, the unhurried pace, the refusal to reveal everything, it lingers, urging him to know more, pulling him in. When all questions are answered, all pieces fit perfectly, curiosity dies. And when curiosity dies, desire follows. You don't need to keep secrets to be mysterious. You simply avoid giving everything too soon, refrain from telling your entire life story just because someone asks, and don't become an open book anyone can flip to the last page after one conversation. True mystery lies not in hiding, but in reserving your sacred parts for the right moment, the right person, the right emotional depth. Consider a practical example. A man you're getting to know asks about your past relationships. You respond gently, "That's a part of me I share only when I feel safe and we're closer." This is a wise response, not revealing much, yet showing depth. You don't fill the conversation with private stories, leaving space for his imagination and emotions to engage. In behavioral psychology, the Zeigarnik effect shows that people remember incomplete, unresolved experiences far more than finished ones. The less clear it is, the more he wonders, "What did she mean?" or feels, "There's something I haven't reached," the more his mind lingers. That is what creates obsession. A woman lacking mystery often wants everything clear from the start. "This is my job, my past relationship, my life philosophy, what I like, what I hate." It seems honest and open. But if everything is laid bare immediately, a man has no reason to explore. You've given him everything before he's earned the right to know. Jung noted that mystery is something to be explored, not explained. This is true in emotional attraction. Men don't need to decode you to feel love. They need to feel you are a journey, not a destination. They need to know you have layers, depths, and spaces they long to discover, but cannot force. A truly mysterious woman doesn't do this strategically. She doesn't withdraw to be chased or stay silent to be noticed. She simply doesn't give her deepest self to fleeting connections. She doesn't hold back from playing hard to get, but because she knows the value of what remains untold. This is not emotional manipulation. It is the instinct to protect the depth of her soul from hasty consumption. And that protection is the most powerful invitation. A mature man will realize she's not easily accessible, but if one day she chooses to share more with me, it will be a gift. Those who seek only ease will leave. And that is for the best. Not everyone deserves togang to the depths within you. Secret number 4. Finding joy in yourself. Even mystery is merely an alluring mist if there is no true light within you. So, what makes a man who exude a relaxed yet vibrant energy, an effortless state, free from the need to control situations, yet brimming with vitality. Self-amusement is precisely this energy. It makes others feel as though they've stepped into the world of someone living authentically, without needing to prove anything or seek reactions. And the wonder of it is, when you're not trying to make someone laugh, they laugh the most in your presence. Carl Jung believed, nothing has a stronger influence psychologically on their children than the unlived life of the parent. The same applies to romantic relationships. Nothing captivates a man more than the energy of a woman living a life unhindered. A man may love your physical beauty, but he becomes obsessed when he thinks of you and remembers how you live. The way you burst into laughter watching a silly video, the way you dance clumsily in the kitchen to music, the way you tell a story full of passion about something small that made your day, like finding a favorite chocolate or running into an old friend at a bookstore. These things may not matter to the world, but they matter to you. And your willingness to let them matter, to live authentically in those small moments, sets you apart. Self-amusement doesn't come from a perfect life. It comes from permission to enjoy the little things, permission to fail without self-criticism, permission to be joyful, sad, playful, or lazy without apologizing for it. Such a woman doesn't need to complicate a conversation. She simply speaks about what lights a spark in her eyes, and a man is drawn not to the content, but to the way her eyes shine when she speaks. Most importantly, self-amusement makes you less vulnerable to hurt. You don't place your entire happiness in someone else's hands. When he leaves, you don't lose your emotional self-mastery. You may feel sad, but you'll still go to work the next morning, buy flowers to place on your table, and smile because the sky is bluer today than yesterday. This continuity, uninterrupted by another's presence or absence, is what makes you free. Secret number 5, being fully present in every moment. Even the most radiant self-derived joy cannot deeply touch another if you remain confined to your world. The question is, when you are with someone, are you truly there? Not just in words, but in a complete presence and listening, a living energy that connects, undistracted, undivided. A person who can laugh alone is living for themselves, but a person who makes another feel seen, heard, and understood in every moment spent together is the one who inspires a man to stay, because he feels truly present with you. And the feeling of being fully present is one of the deepest needs of the human soul, yet desperately rare in this age. Carl Jung described self-development not only as self-awareness, but as the ability to be fully present in reality. It's when you're not drifting through a conversation, not checking your phone every 5 minutes, not interrupting to talk about yourself. You are there, looking, listening, responding from depth, not reflex. Reality shows that men deeply desire to be with women who make them feel heard without being corrected. For example, when he shares about work stress or uncertainties, he isn't seeking advice. He simply wants to express himself and feel understood. If you interrupt with, "I've been there too, I think you should," you may dampen his emotions and his desire to share. Sometimes your silence is the greatest comfort you can offer. Behavioral psychology calls this empathic resonance, emotional attunement. When you are fully present, without doing much, your energy naturally aligns with the other person's frequency. They feel at ease. They speak more truthfully. They share things they've never told anyone. And when someone can be their authentic self safely in your presence, you become the place they want to return to. Presence doesn't come from practicing communication skills. It comes from the ability to endure silence, uncertainty, and raw emotion without needing to fill the space with anything. A man may encounter many beautiful, accomplished, or charming women, but if one day he sits with a woman who, while talking, allows him to feel he doesn't need to try to be interesting, doesn't need to keep the mood light, doesn't need to prove himself, he will feel safe on a level deeper than physical or romantic attraction. That level of connection cannot be created through technique, only through pure presence. In healing therapies, it's been found that the presence of a grounded person has more power than any pill or analysis. Because the wounded don't need to be explained, they need someone to stay with them without making them feel wrong for being sad. And men, however strong they appear, need this more than they admit. A woman who is truly present is not just a partner. She is an anchor no one names, but everyone feels. Secret number 6, strategic scarcity. When a woman is fully present in each moment, she makes the other person feel seen, heard, and alive, But what happens when the man leaves that moment? The question isn't about when you're present, but the feeling after you're gone. And here, one of the most powerful principles of attraction. Not out of aloofness, but because you respect your schedule as you respect yourself. The man reading that message may feel a slight pang of disappointment, but immediately another emotion emerges: respect. He sees you prioritize yourself, and your time isn't easily won. That's when attachment begins to form. He realizes you're not dependent. You choose him, but he's not your center. This makes every moment with you special, not to be taken for granted. Strategic scarcity also stems from unpredictability. A woman who always texts first, always initiates, always keeps the conversation going, makes a man feel he doesn't need to try. And human instinct, like that of a hunter, is such that without effort, there's no emotional investment. But when you occasionally withdraw your energy, let silence linger a bit longer, allow space to form, he begins to think, wonder, question, imagine. And that time of wondering is when emotional connection takes root deeper than any long conversation. Jung said, "What we do not bring to consciousness appears in our lives as fate." This holds in the unconscious patterns we create in love. Women who've been abandoned often unconsciously compensate by always initiating, always being present, always proving their feelings, hoping not to be forgotten. But the paradox is this: being too present, too quick, too available dilutes your emotional value. Not because you're not enough, but because you've let someone access all of you too soon, too easily, without requiring investment. A woman who understands this principle doesn't use it to manipulate relationships. She uses it to protect her energy. She knows not everyone deserves all she carries. She lets someone approach her gradually, letting the relationship grow naturally, not too rushed, not too slow. Some days she might text a lot. Other days she's absent, busy with friends, Not because she's playing cat and mouse, but because her life doesn't revolve around love. Strategic scarcity lies in the sense that you cannot be fully possessed. A woman who leaves an aftertaste, who doesn't say everything, who doesn't share every story, who doesn't open her life like an emotional catalog, inspires investment. And once someone invests, they are loath to let go. Secret number 7. Giving a man the opportunity to show. When you're not overly present, when you know how to create just enough space, a man begins to invest more and reveal himself to win your favor. There's a truth in psychology that anyone who has truly loved has experienced. We don't value what comes easily, nor do we feel attached to what requires no effort. This doesn't mean love should be exhausting, but rather that emotions deepen when they are cultivated, not handed over on a platter. Jung once said, "What you resist not only persists, but will grow in size." People are driven to act not by what they easily attain, but by what stirs their instinct to conquer, overcome, contribute, and prove themselves. A man will not truly bond with a woman if he isn't challenged emotionally and given the chance to invest in that connection. Inspiring a man to invest doesn't mean issuing demands. It's not about saying, "You must do A, B, C for me to take you seriously." It's a different energy entirely. Winning my regard isn't easy, and it's the feeling of growing in your presence that forms the strongest foundation for deep, lasting attachment. What makes a man want to invest is the sense that every interaction with you awakens the best parts of him. Not because you train him or overly praise him, but because the way you respond to his presence makes him feel valuable. Behavioral psychology has a clear principle. The more someone invests in a relationship, the more attached they feel to it. Conversely, if one person gives everything while the other only receives, the bond becomes fragile, easily broken. A woman who always leads the relationship, never giving the man a chance to show himself, makes him feel superfluous. No one wants to be a bystander in their relationship. Inspiring investment also means allowing yourself to receive care and help. When you face difficulties, don't always say, "I'm fine." When you need support, don't rush to say no out of fear of seeming weak or dependent. That's giving someone the chance to step into your inner world, and men, quite naturally, feel more bonded to women they've protected, comforted, or done something different for. Ultimately, it's not gifts, promises, or indulgence that keep a man. It's the feeling that, when he's with you, he becomes a better version of himself. He feels he's investing not just in you, but in a better version of himself. And that's something no one easily abandons, even through periods of silence, distance, or challenges. Picture yourself as a pristine forest, needing no one's praise, no signposts, no explanations. Those who enter feel something sacred, quiet, and inexplicable. It's life, but not loud. It's beautiful, but not pandering to popular taste. You don't need to step outside yourself to be captivating. You simply need to rest in your truest essence, and from there, everything Have you ever met someone who makes no sense? Someone who doesn't fit your type, doesn't meet any of your standards, yet your mind just can't let go of them, no matter how hard you try. It's not love at first sight. It's not an ordinary attraction. It's a hazy but jarring moment of awareness, as if the deepest part of you just whispered, "This person means something to me." And then you ask yourself, why is this person making me feel so confused? Why is there such an eerie, almost frightening sense of familiarity? Carl Jung believed moments like these are not random. They're messages from the unconscious, a place that holds the true map of meaningful connections in your life. According to Jung, real love doesn't come from reason. It stems from a profound resonance between two inner worlds when your soul responds to another soul, not through logic, but through primal emotion. So, how do you know if someone is your true love? How do you tell the difference between fleeting desire and a profound connection written by the collective unconscious? Today, we'll decode the invisible but undeniable signs Carl Jung left us, like a map to help you recognize who's truly meant for you. Number 1. What is true love? According to Jung, true love is not about two people being compatible by society's standards. It's a sacred encounter between two inner worlds, a resonance between one soul and another that transcends calculation and appearances. Jung called it the voice of the unconscious, a part of you that the rational mind cannot control, but that knows exactly what is real. In Jung's view, each of us carries archetypes, universal symbols buried deep in the collective unconscious. The mother, the father, the lover, the child, the hero, the betrayer. And when we fall in love, we often don't love the person as they truly are. We project onto them an archetype we carry unconsciously. In other words, we love the image of ourselves reflected through them. For example, you meet someone strong, calm, and protective. You feel immediately drawn, not just to them, but because they awaken the ideal lover archetype inside you. On the other hand, if you carry abandonment wounds from childhood, you might find yourself unconsciously drawn to distant, cold people, because your unconscious is trying to heal the past through present love. Jung called this process projection, one of the most powerful phenomena in love. But he also warned, projections are always illusions. True love begins only when you pull back the projection, when you start seeing the other as a real person, not a symbol of your unfulfilled desires, wounds, or dreams. Love, for Jung, is a spiritual catalyst. When you truly love, you don't just see the other person, you begin to see your whole self, your light and your shadow, your strengths and your wounds, the parts you're proud of and the parts you've always denied. It's not a gentle experience, it's an awakening, and that's why real love isn't easy. But it's real, and only what is real can heal. Take this example. You're with someone who makes you feel safe, stable, cherished. But you're no longer yourself. You shrink, give up what you enjoy, stop pursuing your passions. You become smaller. isn't always easy, because true love doesn't speak in words. It's not loud. It doesn't follow the usual logic. It speaks through subtle, deep signals, through feeling, intuition, and silent movements in the unconscious. So, how do you know you're standing in front of true love? Below are 7 core signs, not for you to analyze others, but for you to learn how to listen to yourself when love appears. If you're ready to explore them with me, comment, "I'm ready," so we can begin. Number 2, 7 signs this is true love. Sign 1. The feeling of recognizing a familiar soul. Have you ever met someone just once, and in that moment, nothing seemed to happen on the outside, but something inside you vibrated in a strange, deep way? Not the kind of, "this person is my type," nor, "wow, they're perfect," but a quiet, intense feeling, like you found a piece of your soul that had been lost for a long time. A familiarity that defies logic. Not from reason, not from experience. It hits in an instant, like a memory from another lifetime, but you can't quite name it. Carl Jung called this the unconscious, responding to a soul that deeply resonates with yours. Not because they are like you, but because they awaken a part of you that has never been lit. It could be a soft, feminine energy you've always denied, or a wild, intuitive, free spirit that society made you forget. Jung referred to these parts as the anima, the feminine within men, and animus, the masculine within women, archetypes that exist within the unconscious. And when you meet someone who activates your anima or animus, you don't just like them, you see yourself in them. They're like a mysterious mirror reflecting a part of your soul you've never dared to live with. For example, maybe you're rational, disciplined, and living within structure. Then one day, you meet someone who lives by emotion, intuition, free as the wind. They're nothing like you, yet you can't take your eyes off them. Something in their gaze makes you feel like you're seeing an old friend you've never met. They don't complete you like a missing half. They awaken the parts you buried out of fear, pain, or social conformity. This is the first sign of true love, according to Jung. Not external compatibility, but internal resonance, a kind of unspoken recognition, as if your soul whispered, "We finally meet again." But here's the key. This recognition isn't always pleasant. Sometimes what you recognize isn't the sweet part of love. It's the part of your soul you fear and reject. That's why many people run from this kind of connection, thinking it's wrong. But Jung warned, don't mistake fear for error. Some souls make you tremble because they're saying exactly what you're not yet ready to hear. Sign 2. They awaken your shadow. But there's something you must know. Not every resonant soul brings peace. Sometimes the person you recognize the deepest is also the one who confuses you, angers you, or hurts you the most. Because recognition happens not only with your light, but also with your darkness. Jung called this the shadow, the part of your psyche you don't want to admit, the parts repressed, rejected, or shamed. The shadow isn't evil. It's simply the aspects of you that no one taught you how to love. And here's the twist. True love is always tied to the shadow. You'll know it's happening when you meet someone who pulls you in, but also makes you want to run. They make you feel weak. They say things you don't want to hear. They unintentionally expose your fear of abandonment, jealousy, insecurity, all the things you thought you'd moved past. And you ask yourself, why does this person touch the most vulnerable part of me? Jung would say, because they are unconsciously triggering your shadow. That person is a mirror, not only reflecting the parts you love, but also the parts you hide. And real love, if it is real, will always require you to face yourself. Jung once said, "One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious." Light doesn't come from pretending to be perfect. It comes from facing the dark. And the one you truly love is the one who won't let you hide anymore. They're the mirror that reveals your dark corners, not to judge you, but to set you free. Think of those relationships that made you suffer, not because they treated you badly, but because they made you feel not good enough, too fragile, out of control. If you can look back, not with blame, but with understanding, you'll see they touched wounds that hadn't healed. And to Jung, that's not failure. That's a chance to integrate the shadow and grow for real. Many think true love must be easy, smooth, and sweet. But Jung said, wholeness is not achieved by cutting off a portion of one's being, but by integration of the contraries. True love, the kind that transforms you, pulls your shadow into the light. Not to hurt you, to liberate you. That person isn't here to pamper your pain. They're here to make you look at it. You have to try to stay connected. You sacrifice too much to make it work. And deep down, you know, I'm not myself anymore. But with the right person, even if there are disagreements, even in silence, you feel filled up. They don't demand you always be strong. They give you space to be vulnerable, and they stay. They don't require perfection. They make you feel safe enough to drop your defenses. That person turns you inward. Not to retreat, but to awaken. They don't love your mask. They love the real energy inside you, even when you've forgotten what it is. And when that happens, you'll know, because love won't feel like a battle anymore. It will feel like a return. Sign 4. You feel a shared purpose with them. A person who energizes you instead of draining you is a clear sign. But true love, according to Carl Jung, doesn't stop at comfort. It goes further. It creates space for both people to grow, not by merging into one, not by becoming dependent, but by walking two distinct paths in parallel toward a shared direction. Jung once said, "Every human life contains a potential. If that potential is not fulfilled, then that life was wasted." He believed that every person is a microcosm, a universe with its own identity, potential, and purpose. True love doesn't erase that individuality. On the contrary, it makes each person more clearly defined in themselves and simultaneously creates a new energetic field where both can serve something greater than themselves. You know you're in a truly deep relationship when you feel, "I haven't lost myself loving this person. On the contrary, I know myself better, and at the same time, I can walk alongside them towards something greater for both of us." It's not about blending. It's not about sacrificing who you are to make it work. It's two complete beings, each with their path, ideals, and passions. Yet when together, they align at the level of core values. They could be independent, but they choose to walk together because this shared growth feels sacred. For example, you might be passionate about healing and psychology. The other is drawn to art and personal expression. On the surface, you seem different, with little in common. But both of you share a value: freeing the human spirit from internal bondage and lies. When together, neither abandons their dream, but you find that their dream fuels your journey, and vice versa. Jung would say, this is the sign of a symbolic soul convergence. It's not just attraction, it's a meaningful depth that makes both feel, we're building something that isn't just for us. And the key is this: this kind of growth is not separate from love. It is love. Because you love them, you want them to soar higher. And because they love you, they never hold you back to serve their ego. You become each other's keepers of the flame, with no demands, no manipulation, no control. True love, according to Jung, isn't two people doing everything together all the time. It's two free, awakened souls on separate journeys of individuation, yet sharing one heartbeat, one sacred invitation from the collective unconscious. When you love someone and also feel both of us are becoming stronger versions of ourselves because of each other's presence, that's not luck. That's destiny, called forth from the unconscious. Sign 5. Time and space seem to disappear. When both people can grow, holding their individuality yet harmonizing on a shared path, love reaches a deeper layer of awakening. But there's something more subtle, more mystical, that Carl Jung believed was a sign that you're not just in love, but being guided to it. That phenomenon is called synchronicity, meaningful coincidences. Have you ever asked yourself, why did I meet that person right at that moment? Why, out of millions of people, did I just happen to sit next to them in an empty cafe? And why can't I stop thinking about them? Jung didn't believe this was random. He called it the language of the collective unconscious, the cosmic intelligence working beneath the surface, leading you to the right place, right person, at the right time. As he wrote, synchronicity is an ever-present reality for those who have eyes to see. When you meet someone and time seems to pause, when the outside world fades away and all that exists is this moment between you and them. That's your unconscious recognizing something far more important than reason can explain. Example: you miss a bus, something that seems annoying, but it leads you to meet them in a quiet, unfamiliar cafe. Or you're standing at a major crossroads in life, lost, and they appear, not to fix anything, but to spark something inside you, a memory, an intuition, a reminder of why you began. People like this rarely show up at convenient times. They arrive when you're in transition, when your soul is asking questions, when you no longer want to keep faking it. They're a living signal from the unconscious part of you you've been ignoring. They pull your attention back inward just by being there, and the so-called random circumstances of your meeting time, place, and tiny details that seem meaningless suddenly losing yourself. And Jung would say, this isn't just a feeling. It's a resonance between two souls that have already touched in the collective unconscious, where memory lives beyond this lifetime. In true love, this person doesn't hide their shadow. They embrace it as an inseparable part of you. And because of that, you don't just feel accepted. You feel seen, understood, and invited to stay. Not in a physical home, but in a soul space where every version of you, past, present, and future, is welcomed. This feeling can't be manufactured with logic. No dating app can describe it, because it doesn't come from matching personalities. It comes from soul harmony. And if you've ever met someone who makes you exhale, not because they saved you, but because you can finally drop your armor, then don't doubt it. Sign 7. They force you to choose, to love for real, or keep living a lie. After all the intense emotions, the strange synchronicities, the moments of feeling truly seen and touched at your core, there will come a moment where you must make a real choice. Either love for real, or continue living a lie. Carl Jung never romanticized love. To him, true love was about confrontation, not just with the other person, but with your true self. And the truth, as you know, always demands sacrifice. Not the sacrifice of love itself, but of your false self, your roles, your armor, and the relationships that no longer reflect who you are. As he once said, people will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their soul. The person truly meant for you won't let you run anymore. They don't come, so you can stay in your comfort zone, keep wearing your mask, keep pretending everything's fine. They call out your authentic self, and they make it impossible for you to keep faking it. And then you realize, if you want this person to stay in your life, you must become the most honest version of yourself. No more compromising with lies. No more clinging to relationships that don't nourish you. You will have to let go. Let go of what? Let go of the people who only love your pleasant, successful, strong side. Let go of the lifestyle that disconnects you from your soul. Let go of the fear that being real means being left behind. This is the moment when love is no longer an emotion, but a commitment to truth. And if you dare to step into it, you're not just loving them, you're choosing to love yourself. Jung would call this the ultimate confrontation between the ego and the real. And true love won't wait for you in shallow waters. It waits where you're willing to shed your illusions and live in radical truth. That person may not stay if you're not ready. But if you choose truth, that love won't just change your relationship. It will change who you are. But here's the catch. Not everything that makes you tremble, lose control, or feel obsessively drawn is true love. Intensity is not always proof of authenticity. Sometimes it's just the voice of an old wound crying out to be healed. Number 3, a wake-up call from Jung. There is a kind of love that leaves you breathless, intoxicated, and obsessed. Every time this person comes near, you feel scorched. Every time they leave, you feel hollow, as if severed from yourself. It's the kind of love that robs you of sleep, makes you tremble, and makes you sacrifice yourself just to hold on to them. It's intense, fiery, irresistible. And Carl Jung warns you, be careful. Not everything that stirs you deeply is true love. Jung called this phenomenon excessive projection, when you no longer see the other person for who they are, but as a symbol of all your unmet desires and unhealed wounds. And that can lead you to confuse emotional addiction with soul connection. When you haven't integrated your inner unconscious, you unknowingly project it onto others, and when they fail to fulfill the role you've assigned, you feel disillusioned, hurt, even betrayed. But it's not love that's been betrayed. It's the collapse of an illusion. Look back at yourself. Have you ever experienced a powerful connection that caused you to lose yourself? Share in the comments. Sometimes, naming the experience is the first step to awakening. Jung saw many people trapped in relationships he called emotional codependency, where love gets entangled with drama, with a longing to be rescued, with romanticized suffering. These relationships can be blazing, passionate, but they also pull you away from yourself and make you forget your path. You start changing who you are just to hold on to the other. You justify being hurt. You tell yourself, love means accepting everything. But in truth, you are compromising your inner truth just to preserve a feeling that seems like love. Picture a couple who feel an intense connection from the first meeting. They're drawn to each other like magnets, fuse at lightning speed, share everything, merge completely, but within months, they begin to unravel. Explosive fights erupt. Insecurity surges. One tries to control, the other retreats. They're in pain, but can't let go. Carl Jung would look at this and say, no, this is not love. This is the unconscious trying to liberate itself through the other. A real connection, as Jung emphasized, does not After all the signs, the resonance, the seemingly fated connections, Carl Jung brings us back to one core truth. You cannot recognize or attract true love unless you've truly learned to love yourself. This is not an empty inspirational quote. It is a profound psychological principle. If you cannot embrace both the light and the shadow within you, you will continue to seek love as compensation, not as shared presence. Jung believed that most tragedies in love don't come from meeting the wrong person, but from entering love while still strangers to ourselves. You want to be seen, but refuse to look within. You want to be loved wholly, but cannot love the ugly parts of yourself. And so, you hand your heart to someone else with an unspoken hope. Please love me the way I can't love myself. But no one can do that forever. They may lift you, touch your deepest wounds, awaken the parts you forgot, but they cannot heal what you still refuse to face. And when you start to feel abandoned, overlooked, not enough, Jung would gently ask you to turn inward and ask, have I truly done that for myself? To Jung, self-love isn't about affirming I deserve good things. It goes deeper. It's the journey of accepting your whole being, including the shameful parts, the immature parts, the weak parts. As he said, the most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely, because when you can face your own shadow without fear, you no longer need someone else to fill the void. You realize love doesn't come to complete you. It's where you share the wholeness you've found. This is why Jung placed individuation at the center of human development. Only when you become your truest self can you see another clearly, without your unconscious clouding your vision. You won't love to escape loneliness, but love becomes the natural expression of a soul that has reconciled with itself. True love doesn't begin with finding the other. It begins the moment you stand in front of a mirror, no longer running, no longer editing, and for the first time say, "I'm here. I see you, and I accept it all." When you can love yourself at that depth, the other, if they come, won't be your savior. They'll be your companion. No one in this world can answer for you. Is this person my true love? There is no prophecy, no tool more precise than the whisper within you. And Jung understood this. He didn't give answers, he gave a mirror so you could see yourself in the relationships you live. And right now, not later when it hurts, but right now, you need to pause, take a deep breath, and ask, am I loving from truth, or just afraid of being alone? A simple question, but it pierces the core of human behavior. So many enter relationships not because they're ready to love, but because they can't bear the void. They fear silence, fear of being unseen, fear of invisibility. And they call the first person who shows up destiny. But you cannot truly love anyone if you are still using them as a blanket to cover your deepest fears. Jung would ask, if this person disappeared tomorrow, would you still feel whole? Or are you clinging to them to avoid facing a space inside you? And if you answer honestly, the next question will come. Does this person help you grow, or are they making you shrink day by day? Someone who truly loves you doesn't need you to be perfect. But their love will make you want to grow, not because you're lacking, but because being with them inspires you to be the highest version of yourself. Conversely, if you find yourself gradually abandoning your dreams, suppressing your feelings, changing your tone, your tastes, just to maintain harmony, you are not loving. You are contracting yourself to survive. And the cruelest part is, you may not even realize it until you've almost lost yourself entirely. Jung once warned that a relationship can be like a warped mirror. You enter thinking it's love, but end up losing sight of your real self in a distorted reflection. And when that happens, you must step back and ask, am I changing because I'm evolving, or because I'm being diminished? Ultimately, perhaps the most important question of all, am I denying the voice within me? You know that voice. It's not fear. It's not a doubt. It's a deep, solid intuition, a silent knowing that once whispered, this isn't right, or this person means more than I'm willing to admit, but you chose to ignore it. Because logic spoke louder, because society had reasons, because others said, they're good for you. But here's the thing. You can fool the whole world, but you can never fully deceive the most honest part of yourself. And that voice, even when buried, never leaves. It's always there, waiting for you to listen. Carl Jung believed every soul knows its way home. We just get too busy pretending to remember how to listen. So if you're in love, waiting for someone, or holding on to something vague but emotional, stop chasing the question, do they love me? Instead ask, am I being true to myself? Because only when you start from your inner truth will the questions about love find clear answers. No need to overanalyze. No need to seek advice. Just be radically honest with yourself. And that, for